this is Jilly from Jilly's Creative Corner. Today's project is a lovely little box. It's a flip top box, and so you flip it up like that, and then you've got some lovely little cards inside. So the little cards inside are 3 by 3, and then you pop the box closed like that. So it'll be a lovely little gift for somebody, or if any of you do, when we're obviously allowed again, to do craft fairs, or I know there's Zoom craft fairs and things, so it'd be a lovely little gift for you to sell at any craft fairs, virtual or in the face-to-face ones. I'm an independent Stampin Up demonstrator, and I'm part of the Pinkies group. Our team leader is Michelle Lost, and Michelle shared this project with us at our Pinkies Craft Along virtual event last weekend, and I thought it was such a lovely project. The actual designer of the project was, let me just check her name, was Claudia Mesa. That's who originally designed it, Claudia Mesa. So that's a big shout out to her. So this is the 3 by 3, and this is the one I'm going to show you how to make today. So the papers I used on my project last week, my easel gift card box, was Flowers for Every Season. And part of that suite that had stamp sets and this paper, they also have these Memories and More cards. This was done, this one here was actually done with this paper. But for our video today, I'm going to show you how to use these Memories and More cards. So they come in packs, in a big pack like this. So you have large ones. Beautiful sunny day today. You have large ones, and these are actually got adhesive backs, so the little flowers, got some words. So you've got two lots like that, 2 lots of the words, and then especially if you do journaling or scrapbooking of any kind. So these ones are 4 by 6, so you get a different thing on each side. So this one says always remember I love you, but on the flip side you could use that side and write your own bit of journaling on the back, and then they have all different ones for that. I'm actually going to use, because I don't actually do journaling, however I'm going to use these smaller ones. These are 3 by 4, and I'm going to use these as card faces. So I'm going to show you how to make the box, and then here's 2 samples, these Memories and More cards, how you can use them for your cards and not just for journaling. So this is what you'll need to make the box. So for the actual base of the box, you want coloured cardstock. Normally I don't work in centimetres, but centimetres was what we were given for this box, and it works perfectly, so I'm going to go with centimetres. For the coloured cardstock for the actual box that the cards sit in, you need a piece of cardstock that is 14.5 by 14.5, and that's centimetres. And you want to score this piece, all 4 sides at 3 centimetres. Then you want, for the lids, these bits here, you want 2 of these I've used basic white, and you want it to be 14.5 centimetres by 10.5 centimetres, and score on the long side, which is that side there, at 3 centimetres each end, and then on the short side, which is this one, you want to score at 4.5 centimetres and again at 7.5 centimetres. So I'm going to bring in my scoreboard for this one because I've already obviously cut mine, but my scoreboard, I don't have the metric, otherwise I would do it, or I always use my scoreboard, but the trimmer works perfectly well with the scoring blade. So this, you want to do all 4 sides at 3 centimetres, so you want to pop it in there. In with your, don't make a mistake and use your cutting blade. I've done that a few times. Not on this project, thank goodness, but I have done it. While I've got my scoreboards, I'm going to do, I've already done one of these, I've prepped one of these already, so this is one I'm going to do just to show you. So on the long side, you're going to score at 3 centimetres again, on the long side there. Turn it right round to the other side and again 3 centimetres. Oh, the sun's come out again. I don't really want to close the curtains because there's a dirty black cloud up there that keeps threatening. So hopefully. Then on the short side, you want to come in at 4.5 centimetres. And 7.5 centimetres. So you've got a piece that looks like that. So on the long side it's 3 and 3. So on the short side it's 4.5 and 7.5. So I'm just going to pop this trimmer to one side because in a minute we're going to use it again. So we'll put that to one side. We'll just make the box up first. It's like this is like a basic box. So for anybody who doesn't make boxes regularly, you want to burnish all your score lines well, and then bring in a sharp pair of scissors. And so there's your score line there, and you want this to be straight. So if you cut down so that the bulky bit of the score line stays on this small piece here. So if I just cut that down, just down to that score line, you're just cutting down to the score line. And the same this way, so keep the bulky part of the score line on the little bit there. You might be able to see that if I hold it up. There's a bulky bit there. So this bit is perfectly straight. And then you're going to just pop that in and just cut a little wedge out. That sun goes in and out and in and out. And then cut that off, and exactly the same here. Remember not to cut into that score line that side, just to the side of it. It's really so when it goes in like that, it's not running level with this, so you're not going to see it above. That's why we nudge it out there. Put a little nudge. And then exactly the same the other side. So that's the inside of your box where all the bulky score lines you can still see. That's going to be the inside of your box. So you want to turn it over so the outside of your box is facing uphill, and then get your tape. I always use tape. But you know, people use the Tombow liquid glue, whatever your favourite glue is that you know is going to hold something tight. You know, because this is a box after all, and it is going to be holding. It is going to be holding things. I know cards aren't that heavy, but you've got the cards and the envelopes, so you know you want to know that it's going to hold tight. I always put a piece of tape at the top because when that takes in the whole of that, so that's sticking that right down, there's no gaps. And I always put some at the bottom so it's holding it flat in there, so there's no movement in there. So that's why I put double the tape. So that's your tape done now. So what you want to do is just peel the tape off this one first, put that flap in and bring this up so you've got a lovely smooth edge there, and do that all the way around to all the other flaps. So there you go, there's your, that's that part of your box done. So you can pop that to one side now and concentrate on the lids. Right, so this is the lid piece. I've already cut one out, and as if you saw my project last week, I've done exactly the same again. I make a prototype so that I've got one, and I've written on the back of it as well. So this is what it will look like when you've cut it out. This is what it will look like. So I've written on the back, prototype for flip top box, and it's from my Pinky's Craft Along weekend, so I know you know, 6 months, a year's time, I remember which box this was for. So just for the speed of the video, I have made one of my tops already, but I'm going to do this one along with you to show you how to do it. So first of all, burnish all your score lines. So you've burnished all your score lines now, and you've got this. Now you can cut it with scissors, but I'm going to put it in my trimmer so we get a definite straight line. So if you bring your trimmer back in and you pop, you've got a score line there, and you're going over to that score line there. So you pop it in the trimmer, so in the centre piece, the cutting line of your trimmer, you've got that score line sat in the middle of there, and you've got this score line here sat in the middle of there. And you're going to pop that down and you're going to cut. So you come out with that. And then you're going to do exactly the same the other side. So you're going to turn that round and you're going to pop that score line there. So you've got that score line there in the centre of your cutting line. That score line there in the centre of that cutting line there. Cut down. And there you cut. Okay, so if I just show you that bit first. So this is your widest piece, your widest end, and you've cut that piece off there, and you've cut that piece off there. That's the first cut you make. So now it's going to look, this is the other side, so you're going to put that on there, and that's exactly the same. Then you're going to turn it over and bring in your sharp scissors again, and you're going to cut, so you're going to keep this thicker score line here exactly the same. You're going to cut it straight down so that the score line, and you're going down to that first score line like that. So the fatter bit of the score line is on this little flap here, and exactly the same the other side. So straight down, just the other side of the score line, so it's to that first score line there. So you've got that now. Now you're going to turn it round. I find it easier to bring that down because that's, and then you're going to, from that score line there, so from the edge that you've cut off, from that score line there, you're going to go from that corner there straight across to that corner there. So you've got like a funny shaped triangle, and then you're going to do exactly the same. So from that corner there to that corner there. So now you've got that. So at the moment you've got that piece from there, that piece from there, that piece from there, and that piece from there. So there's one final bit now. Now I've cut it from, so this is the larger triangle here. So I've gone down from the point there so that the thicker piece of the score line is on the little piece. So I've gone straight down just to that score line there. So just to that score line there. So you can see that the thicker part is on this little piece here. Exactly the same the other side. Just from the corner straight down. Make sure that's gone into there. Okay, so what I've done now, I'm not sure what Claudia did, and I don't think Michelle did this either. But I don't like that thick bit there because it's what's going to do, where that thick score line is, it's going to come inside here and it's going to sit on top of the other thick bit of score line there. So I cut mine off. So all I do is do a slither from that corner there straight down just to get that thick bit of score line out, because I like it sitting flat. And then exactly the same here. So straight down, just very close to the edge. So you've just got a slither of score line like that. Put those two in. Put those two down. Just gets those bits out. So then this is your box lid. So what you do then is, this is the inside, because you can see the inside because it's got all the thicker score lines. You turn it over, and these little triangles here is where you're going to put your glue. Either you can use wet glue, whatever's your favourite glue really. I'm probably just going to put Stampin' Seal on mine. Everybody has their favourite glues, I know. If you use liquid glue, then you just have to make sure that you hold it for a few seconds so that it clings on. So then the little piece that's got the glue on goes inside, and the bigger piece goes up to there. So you've got that joint there, like that. And then the same thing this side. So that is your lid. That's one of your lids now. So what it's going to look like is, this is your base, and this is going to sit in there like so, and then this is going to be stuck on the bottom. Now the only other thing you need to do is this flap bit here that's going to stick on the bottom, because you don't want it to, let's put that back in. Because you don't want it to stick out at the sides, that one's probably all right. I think they might be okay. If they were going to stick over the edge, if you held that down and you thought, oh, that white's going to stick over the edge, then I would just notch it in a little bit, just a tiny bit, because actually we're going to cut another piece, so you can't see the base. I've put another piece of cardstock on the bottom of that, so you can't see. You're not going to see those joins, but you don't want this piece of white to be hanging over here. So I'm just going to pop this one together. So this is the one I made earlier. So now I've got both mine done. So we're going to pop that on there. You can see that they are joined together. So you want to see that they've met in the middle there, so that they will fold up there, like that. So I think I'm just going to take a slither . again, you don't cut into the score lines because that's what's going down the back. This is where so if you take it like that way you can't, it's not going to hang over the edge there and there. So I'll just do the same with this one. So see there, it's not hanging over the edges at all. Right, so what we want to do is, this is where I would just use liquid glue because you've got a bit of movement on it then, and also you're going to stick another piece over the top. So just going to pop it in there and hold that down like that. Because it's liquid glue, you just have to hold it for a few seconds just to make sure it's clung on. And then you're going to do exactly the same this side. Add some more glue here. Again, not too close to the edges, you don't want it all squidging out. So to cover the bottom of the box, so to cover all this, you need a piece of the same colour as your box, and you need it 8.8 centimetres by 8.5 centimetres, and that's to cover the bottom of your box. And so I just pop some liquid glue on this piece. You open the box and just press in the bottom there. There you go, so there's your closed box. So for the top, I've used some of my favourite dies, Stitched So Sweetly dies. I've used them quite a bit in my videos because they're so handy, very, very versatile. So I'm going to use this shape one. So it's this shape one, just that one, and then this one on top. So it'll look like that. Most of the products I use are from Stampin' Up. The only real things that aren't Stampin' Up is my tape. That is Sukwan. I find it really, really sticky and hard and durable. I always put links to what I've used under the video, and if you click on them it takes you straight to my shop. So this is the labels that I've used. So these were the in colours for 2020 to 2022. So you've got cinnamon cider, you have misty moonlight, you have bumblebee, oh just bumblebee, magenta madness, and just jade. They've got some coordinating enamel dots which we will be using today as well. And on my projects I have used cinnamon cider ink and bumblebee cardstock. So on some of the cards inside I'm going to be using this stamp set called Fancy Phrases, because I love that birthday wishes. And for the front of this box I'm going to use this stamp, A Little Something Just For You, which is perfect. I always use my grid paper an awful lot to line things up. Makes life much easier. The grid paper can line it up for you. We do actually sell grid paper in a big pack. I'll actually put the link to the grid paper. This is a very, very useful tool. It has inches one side and the flip side is centimetres. So if whichever you work in, the grid paper works for both ways. So I'm just going to pop this in the centre there. I think these colours, especially bumblebee and cinnamon cider, they coordinate so well together. I really like them. So I'm just going to pop some tape, some Stampin' Seal on the back of here. And then line this up. So what you want to do is you only want to stick it to one of the lids, so that when it opens, so although it looks central like that, when it opens up with one lid, not the other. Otherwise you wouldn't open your box. So to work out, so if I just place that pretty much, it's going to be the centre. So there's the centre line there. So I'm looking at the T. So I don't want to go probably beyond the E. So if I'm holding that up like that, I put my finger on the E and I know that I want to put glue that side. And this again was when I would use my liquid. So E there, I would use liquid glue because it gives you some wriggle room. Together like that, I'll make sure that I've got it pretty central. So it's pretty central from there to there, there to there, and then there. And then I'll do it like this, and then you can hold the glue. So when it closes up like that. So just to finish that off, I'm going to bring in some of the coloured dots. This is the in colour dots to match all these inks that I just showed you. They are here. So I'm going to put, I think I'll go, because I've inked in cinnamon cider, I think I'm going to use the yellow ones. So I'm going to put one there. One there. and one at the bottom there. And then I'm going to come in with some basic rhinestone jewels. Give it a bit of sparkle. Put one of those there. One in that corner there. And I know you're supposed to, they say in crafting it should be odd numbers, but this lends itself to even numbers. Ooh, having the corners. There, so let's finish that off nicely. So that's your box already for your little cards to go in. So to make the little cards to go inside, I've already gone ahead and done a couple just to save time on the video really. So I've made this one, and as I said earlier, I've made them out of these little Memories and More cards. So I've taken the ones that, so this one here was that one. I've just cut it down to 3 by 3. And then this one here, I'm not sure if I've got any left now. I think you get 2 of each one. So this one here came as a long ways like that. So I had to cut 2 of them to get the card like that I wanted. So I don't have another one of these to show you, but it was basically like that. It had these pretty flowers all the way around, and then it had a message in the middle. So that's how I made that one, and I'm going to make this one the same to show you how. It's very, very simple. But when you've got a lovely box, you don't need really complicated cards to go inside them. I've done a birthday wishes. Not so much with the idea of this is their main birthday card, but you know, if you give a plant to somebody or you give them some flowers, it's nice to have something to pop, you know, a few words in. So it can be for their birthday, but you just want to write a few words in to wish them a happy birthday and pop it in with the cards. So that's my idea of these being birthday cards, not necessarily this is her main card, because it's only 3 by 3 and you might want to make a much bigger card. But to put that in with a bunch of flowers or in with a plant. And then this one I did as a little note, so that you know, you might want to write a little note to somebody. So that's 2 I've done already, because there's 4 that fit in this box. With envelopes. For this one here, I cut this one down to 3 by 3. And then for this one here, which is what I did there, so I don't want to put too much on that because that's beautiful in itself. So I'm just going to, again, part of the labels, you've got a little label die there, and that's this little one here. So I'm just going to pop that on there. So that was the 2 I used. I used that one, and to cut the bit that I wanted, because I wanted it 3 by 3. If I'd have cut it like there, I would have cut flowers off. So I just cut a bit off the top and a bit off the bottom to make it 3 by 3. So you've still got the main of the flowers in the centre. So to make these cards, to make 4 of them, you need 4 pieces of cardstock. I've used basic white thick card for my base at 6 inches by 3 inches, and then scored at 3 inches. So you've got a 3 by 3 card. So you want 4 of those, 6 inches by 3 inches, scored at 3 inches. Then if you're going to decorate the whole piece, like this one, you want to cut your pattern paper or your Memories and More card, if you've got Memories and More card, to 3 by 3, and that will just stick on the top there. As I said, I'm not going to put ribbon or anything else on there because I just think that is just such a great picture. I'm going to just pop that little, so that they know what it is. I'm just going to pop it down there, a little note for you. And then this one, I'm just going to show you. So this, I cut it 3 by 3. And I know, obviously, the cards I have made in inches because the envelopes are 3 by 3 and the cards are 3 by 3. So I've done everything in inches for the cards. It's just the box that was centimetres, because it marries up perfectly in the measurements that Claudia gave us. So this is my 3 by 3 piece of patterned paper that I'm going to cut into strips. So they're going to be 3/8 of an inch thick strips. So that is the long line before the 1 centimetre, because this is the inches along here. So it's 1, 2, 3, the third long line. And I'm going to do that every, so you get a piece like that. Then I'm going to put it that side so that the next piece, so they all line up. So that's your last 2 pieces. So I'm going to bring in, so this is the front of your cards. I'm just going to open it out like that, so it will go. So you'll put your first piece there, and then I'm going to leave, oops, going to leave a little gap of white there, and then the next one, and the next one, and so on, right the way to the end. So when you space them out with a little bit of white in between, you just don't need that last piece. And just put some glue, just a line of glue. On each one. Makes it look a little bit different from having a straight flat piece on there. Then you put your last piece on. If you've got any hanging over, I've got a tiny bit hanging over there, just bring your scissors in and trim a little tiny bit off, you can't see really. So there's your card. Just makes it look a little bit different than a plain flat colour, just giving it little white lines in between. And again, this is another shape from the labels, the stitched So Sweetly Dies. And that's that one there. So this one I am going to make into a birthday card. So I think I will pick out that colour there, which is the cinnamon cider. And I'll bring in the birthday wishes. I use my grid paper to put those points together. And then I'm going to pick out the green, which is just jade, in this ribbon. Oh, we could do a big loop like that. That's pretty. So we're going to glue dot. Take a glue dot on that bit of ribbon there. And then cross this over. Like so, so that'll go in like that. Put one on the back. And put this one. There. And then I'll bring in dimensionals and put side, on that side, see how that sits, one down the bottom, just put a small piece at the top, so we get the height but it's not bulky. And then we're just bringing the ribbon scissors. Just cut a bit there, cut a bit there. Just adds a bit of texture to the card, putting a little bit of ribbon on. And then I'm going to come in with these, and I think I'll probably go green with the ribbon. Or blue. Actually, I'm going to go blue. There. So there's one card. There's the two birthday ones. So with this one, this is a little note. So I've done the flowers and the things going that way. This one, I've done them going downwards. And then this is the last one. It's going to be a little note. So because that's so pretty, I'm literally just going to put some glue on the back of that, pop it on there, and then stamp just a little note on there. Because all these are stamped in the cinnamon cider, I'm going to carry on the theme and stamp this one. I've got one stamped already that you've seen, but I just want to show you that this stamp does actually fit inside. You just have to be careful how you line it up. I'm just going to get my head in the way just for a second while I line it up. There. So that will sit there like that. I might just pop it on a dimensional to give it a bit of height. Just need one in there. And then just put some liquid glue on there. So you need very little on that card. So I'm just going to add a yellow one there. So that'll bring out the yellow from the flowers. So there's the cards that are going to go inside. So you've got two little notes, and you've got two birthday wishes, and then you've got the box that you put them in. Pop them in there. And then we have got 3x3 envelopes. I just don't actually have them on my desk with me at the moment. Close that up. And there's a lovely little gift. So this is the one I made when I did it for my craft weekend that I did with the pinkies. And then there is one that is bigger. This is with a 3x3. So there is one that is 5x5. So you lift that up. And then your cards are, just double check that. Yep, your cards are then 5x5. So that's what I did at my craft weekend. I do have the sizes for this bigger box, so if anybody wants the sizings for them, then just put a comment in the box underneath the video or send me an email. All my contact details are on the video. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, that would be fantastic. And also, if you like the project and the video, if you tick you like it, that would be great. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.